Welcome back to KeeperRL and the domain of Walrus99 of Hod, and our Mastering KeeperRL series. So last time I left off saying that I would have the imps dig out until we found the two, or we were close to the two surprises. This one on level 3 and this one on level 5. But instead of doing that, well, I started doing that, but I thought I would jump in here and show you a couple of things as we approach this level 3 surprise, although they probably aren't very challenging. So if I wanted to dig out to get to this guy, I could do what I normally do, where I just dig a corridor up to them and so forth. There is another thing you can do. So some people will do this quite regularly. I try to avoid it because it feels a little bit cheaty to me. So I'm going to make this giant selection here. Let me pause. And you can see that a bunch of the areas here just won't be dug. So you can see there's this very regular shape, this rectangle, and what looks like a corridor, and some other kind of corridory space that won't be dug out. This could be a room, but I think, though, it's more likely that it's water. So some people will do this on the entire map, and this gives you a very clear indication of where there are rivers, rooms, lava, that kind of thing. I don't like to do it because I feel like I'd rather sort of figure things out, in part because I don't understand how our keeper or his minions, or their minions, excuse me, would do that. So it feels a little bit cheaty to me. On the other hand, this is a mechanic in the game that is used quite regularly, and so I thought I would show it to you so that you can use it if you choose to in your game. I think actually most players of the game do this sort of thing. So what we can, since we've got this knowledge, what we can figure out from this is that if we dig straight up, our imp is probably going to run into trouble. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to remove these orders and see if we can dig over to here and see what happens. We'll dig this stuff out too. Let's see what happens. In fact, I'll prioritize it. Prioritize task is A. I finally got off my butt and decided to look up the hotkey. All the hotkeys, by the way, I think I showed this earlier, all the hotkeys, by the way, are in the settings menu under key bindings. And in my experience, they all work except Shift-M, which doesn't seem to show the message history. But whatever. I mean, it's not like you're looking at it all that often. So we're going to leave it on. I guess I'm going to move to very fast speed. And then I'm going to show you another thing once this is dug out, another technique that I like to use. Oh, look, a harpy. Oh, a swimming harpy. Now, why would a harpy need to swim? They can fly. That seems weird. Okay, where are dudes right now, per se? Here comes someone. Who is this? They're moving too fast. This is subscribe. Okay, let's zoom back in and see what subscribe figures out. Okay, so that little section like we saw here, let me dig this, mark this for digging again, although I will make it so subscribe can get there. This little section that we saw was in fact water. And the kind of telltale sign was that it was completely enclosed, or it was enclosed by something you would have to dig out, whereas I think there's a corridor like right here. So we're going to dig that out. Okay, this is all water. Alright, let's pause again, because I don't actually care to dig out this water, or dig out this stuff around the water. So let me show you again what it looks like. We've got this corridor here, so this straight hallway here, this room. So we want to dig, and this is, again, this is how you do it if you want to use this technique. So we're going to dig here. Whoops. We're going to dig here, and then I'll start and just go over, I guess, to here. So let me clear this bit out. And we'll dig this way. And then I'm going to clear the rest of it out. Oops. I'm going to clear the rest of this out. So we just dig. Wow, I'm really having some functional difficulty. And we're just going to dig like this. And you know, obviously I could just dig stuff out, but there's actually something I want to show you that you wouldn't normally see. So we're creating ourselves an opportunity here for me to show you something. So let's just let dig this out. So excuse me, subscribe, dig this out. Okay, we don't need these folks. Okay, those look like there's more water. So I can't dig here. I'm trying to dig here, so this is probably water. Yeah. So in order to sort of create the artificial scenario that I'm trying to get to... Actually, hold on. No, let's see if we can dig up here. Okay, this could be water. This could be the corridor. I think that's actually the hallway. Let's tell subscribe to dig that out, and then... Or to prioritize that, excuse me. And then he'll come back and do this. Okay, see? We can see it's a corridor. So, what did I want to show you? Okay, here's what I want to show you. We're going to take control of Yeoman Johnson. And we're going to go down to level 3. Or up to level 3 in Yeoman Johnson's case. Now remember, imps can do a lot of things. They have infinite carry capacity. They are free. The first 4 are free. So if you lose one, you can just bring one back at the click of your mouse. So that is a very useful technique. So here we have Yeoman Johnson. Okay, Yeoman Johnson knows that there is somebody here. Now, if we were doing this normally and we didn't want to do what I'm about to show you, we know that there's a surprise here. And we know that we have sufficient troops that we could come in here and confront kind of anything that's going to show up here on level 3. But instead, we can, at no risk, use an imp to explore. And why is it no risk? Oh, well, first of all, it's no risk because this guy is a friend. This is Cornell, the vampire warrior, and so now we can recruit some vampires at the immigration UI. So let me explain what I was doing, and then actually I'm going to show it to you later. So we can come here, and if these were bad dudes, they could kill Yeoman Johnson, and it wouldn't cost us anything, because Yeoman Johnson will be free to replace, much like the character of Yeoman Johnson is in Star Trek. So let's go back. I exited control mode. We now have, you can look down here at our immigration UI, see there's imps. This is where imps are always here, they're permanent. These are the ones that are coming in. Now we have a permanent, you can tell by the darker brown background, we have a permanent set of 4 vampire recruits here, that once we recruit all 4 of them, then they're done. But we can get them anytime we want, we just need to put in coffins. We're not going to recruit them yet. Instead, we're going to, here, let me start up again. Instead, here I am back down at level 5. We're going to try to replicate exactly what I was trying to demonstrate for you a moment ago with Yeoman Johnson and Cornell the Vampire. We're going to dig all the way up here. This is presumably a corridor. Or, excuse me, a room. I'm going to prioritize all that stuff using A again. And we're going to let our imps dig up. So this technique is especially useful when you are like me and you don't really like to use the wide digging kind of find the hidden stuff thing. But it's also useful if you suspect there are bad dudes down on a floor you're on. So this actually happens much, much later. Or, well, I don't know, maybe another 10 levels down where there could be roaming bad dudes all over the level. And you want to explore, you might find a big catacomb thing. And again, when we show this, when we discover this, which we will, because it seems to happen for every time we dig, every keep that we try to excavate, I'll show you. When you find these large corridors, you can explore them all with an imp instead of a whole troop of guys. And if the imp dies, well, the imp dies, you can bring them back. Or you can get a new one for free. Who is this? This is like. If you look in the lower hand corner, imps are immune to acid, they have infinite carry capacity, and they can be riders. So they're meant to be your worker bees. Or your worker imps, as the case may be. So though Yeoman Johnson is really supposed to be the one on the away team that gets murdered, there's a non-zero chance that like is going to get murdered. That should not, by the way, prevent you from liking the video. So he's almost there. You can see there's a corridor here. Okay, so in fact, I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to dig this out. Whoops. I'm going to dig this out, so we can explore this corridor situation with an imp that's a little bit further away from the surprise. Because these might be dwarves. They might be elves. They're probably dwarves, though. Yeah, there's a bed here, so somebody's doing something here. Let's take control of Yeoman Johnson again. Yeoman Johnson, you're going to beam down. Oh, you're already on this level. How nice. We're going to send you here. Oh, see, there they are. So now, Yeoman Johnson can run. These dwarves are going to come after us, by the way, so I'm going to hit space to skip a turn. Looks like they're not. You can see kind of the light of their torches here. It looks like they're not coming after us, which is good. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to pretend that those dwarves are very, very, very scary to us. I mean, they're not great, but I'm going to pretend that they're very scary. And so what I will sometimes do is forbid this space. So nobody will go up here. So in particular, our imps won't go up here. And then I'm going to get our team together. I believe we have already put everybody in the team. Oh, no, we had a new warrior. Very nice. Our shaman's already there. Nope, our shaman isn't there either. The priest is there. I can see the picture. Yeah, right there. And, of course, Walrus is there. So we're going to click on the team. We're going to take control of Walrus. We're going to stay on leader mode, and we're going to set it to don't chase. And we're going to tell Walrus to go down to level 5. And I'm doing what I was showing you, I think it was last episode, that if you just click this, or you tell it to go to a particular level, you tell your minions to go to a particular level, they'll just go there when you are in control mode. Okay, so now we're going to exit control mode for just a second. And we are going to... Excuse me. We're going to go here to orders, and we're going to get rid of this forbid zone. So this was just to keep the imps and any other minions that were down here from running up there and essentially committing accidental suicide. Now we're going to go up here. This is actually going to be a situation where we may use that W key I was trying to demonstrate before. I'm hitting space to let them catch up. See if the dwarves come here. Nope. Oh, and now we've got a wizard that's behind us. Okay, there we go. There's a dwarf. So we can use our magic missile to... Thrundrick the dwarf. Okay, and this is the tribe leader. You can tell with the purple thing, purple circle below him, and the purple text in his description. And this should hopefully give Walrus... Oh, except they didn't kill Walrus, unfortunately. It's hit by the missile. The dwarf is wounded, but barely. Killing Thrundrick should give us Dwarf Slayer. Okay, so now what we're going to do, Walrus is injured, which is a bad deal. So we are going to move him back. Oh no, we don't want that wizard. This is why I was trying to get a warrior back here. Unbelievable. Let's let Walrus heal himself. That wizard's going to take it there. I'm going to smack you, smack you, smack you. And Walrus is a Dwarf Slayer. Walrus cannot heal, but if our priest gets its butt up here, it can heal. Let's check out the rest of our spells. So this is knockback. Yeah, air blast. So this will knock. It says it creates a directed blast of air that throws back creatures and items. So if we wanted to, we could knock this dwarf back that's coming to attack us. This is just teleports us. It's escape. It teleports us to a safer location. This is our magic missile. This is our healing, which fully restores Walrus's health, just the guy's health. Teleport to any location. So this is a controlled teleport, but only range 3. And then this is cure poison. So that's... Poison is not all that frequent, but when you are poisoned, oh my god, does it suck. So, let me see. So, Walrus is not healing much. So what we're going to do, and he doesn't have his magic missile back, so we're going to blow this guy back with this air blast spell. See? It knocked him back and knocked him down. We're going to let Walrus pass some turns. Our wizard's doing something. We're going to... Oh, we can Use Walrus's magic missile. You can see something's on fire up there, too. This guy is nearly dead. Walrus was much more injured than I wanted, but our priest just healed us, which is great. You can see the goblin priest cast a spell. We're fully healed. Excellent. Yeah, we're not nearly as buff as I had hoped. Walking into fire or adjacent tiles is going to harm us. Continue? Absolutely not. I don't know why that's on fire, but what we're going to do is... Oh, I did it again. What we're going to do is just hit space bar for a little bit. The fire should go out eventually. Somebody... Okay, hear that digging sound? Somebody, an enemy, is digging in, or should be digging into this room. Because they also don't want to walk in the fire. So I'm just hitting space to pass. Let's see what happens. There we go. They beat up the door or something? I'm not certain what happened there. The wood door burns down. So no, I don't know what... Yeah, you could say... Okay, I don't know if you saw it there. Let me pass one more turn. Just watch this space there. Oh, it didn't happen. But you see the wall is cracked because they were beating it up. Or digging through it. So we haven't killed the tribe yet, but these are peasants. They won't attack us. You can tell because they have the little yellow circle beneath them. I'm just beating down the door. Knock, knock. We should see somebody with a red circle beneath them. And that'll be the end of the tribe. Or there'll be warriors in the tribe. Once we kill them, that'll be the end of the tribe. Oh, actually, I take it back. I'm sorry. Down here in the dungeon, it's not tribes like that. So we don't ever get that sign. So what we're going to do is exit control mode. That was my mistake. We did kill a bunch of dudes. And we can... This is where, if you were concerned that there might be more bad dudes, that you can take control of Yeoman Johnson and run around and do things. Although, we're not going to do that because we can just take control of Walrus and run around and do things. And I know that we can... Oh. So that causes me some concern. We don't know what this is. There could be any kind of bad dude in there. So what we'll do is exit control mode with Walrus, and we will take control of Yeoman Johnson. They're on level 5. We were up here, so we're going to send them up there. And figure out what that is, and if he dies, he dies. That's how it goes. Okay, let's see what's going on here. I don't recall that I've ever seen a cloud of... Is this smoke or mist? Is this fog? Yeah. So I don't recall that I've ever seen a cloud of fog in a basement level like this. So this could be really bad. Let's see what happens to Yeoman Johnson. Oh, it's just fog. Did somebody read a scroll? Huh. How strange. So this is where we want to explore for sure. I don't expect there to be anything else here because we would see an unknown question mark. But that was concerning. Okay, these are prison walls, and this guy was presumably a prisoner. So they... Yes, you can see that. Look, our team changed. We now have... This elf has joined our team. So we... And can we capture this bat? Yeoman Johnson can't capture anybody. Okay, so we got an elven archer because we saved them from prison, but they don't count against our population cap, which is amazing. So we took out the guy, the surprise on level 5, and of course the surprise on level 3 was a pleasant surprise because it had vampires that we could recruit. So this elf, does this elf have a name? I think it's just called Elven Archer. We should give it a name. If you have a name that you want for this Elven Archer, please let me know. Meanwhile, let's go find Gogrod. Why are you so slow? I wonder if Gogrod is slow because he's always trying to find traps. Because Gogrod is consistently slow. That's interesting. I have no idea. I can ask around a little bit. What are you? Smelly breath? No, thank you. Oh, sorry, I take it back. This Elven Archer... Oh, no. They are part of our troop. But, okay, so now it's time to get into luxury. Let's go back up to where Walrus is. So remember I was talking before about how we can create luxurious quarters, but we're going to start with this barracks. And we did give quarters to Walrus just because I like to give quarters to them. But if you look in the lower right there, it says total luxury 1.6. So when minions become, when they gain enough experience, they can't realize that experience until they have quarters. And that's what it's telling us here, that this elven archer requires more luxurious quarters to achieve full potential. So unrealized experience is experience they will get once they have enough luxury. And so in this case, we would have to give them 1 luxury. So if you look here at experience level, they're getting +5 to their stats because of level experience. So let's see, you're not going to have any experience. So you guys have basically no experience. Hold on, does anybody have any experience? You have 1. So you're going to get, so Lorzum is getting 1 to all their stats. Here it is. Experience increases every attribute that can be or has been trained. If the creature has no trainable attributes, then damage and defense will be used by default. For example, Dumbug the Goblin has a +1 training in archery and a +3 in melee. Having +2 experience, his damage, defense, and range damage are further increased by 2. So that's why you want to hang on to guys for a while. You can see these guys are building up a little bit of experience. That's why you want to hang on to guys for a while, because they get more experience, which means they can become better at everything that they can do. But once they become high enough level, they insist on having their own quarters. So let's go ahead and build quarters for Elven Archer, who is currently nameless. And you typically don't have to do particularly large quarters. So we're not going to do anything as grand for Elven Archer as we did for Walrus. But we will make it big enough that we can put some nice stuff in it. And I'll probably leave, like I might end up making quarters long hallways or something. And I'll leave enough space so that we can expand it in case we need more room. And I'll show you why that's important in a moment, once we have this all dug out. So let's put in a door. A door does not actually add luxury, but we're going to put in a door anyway. And quarters don't need to be closed off with a door in order to be treated like quarters. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to zone quarters like we did for Walrus back in like episode 1 or 2. And we're going to just draw out the area, fill the area, so you can see it's pink, and it is, you can see their quarters, unassigned, total luxury 0. So we can click to us. I can get off of quarter. Oh no, I unassigned that. Hold on. Okay. So we can click to assign, and then it gives us a list of everybody in the colony. And the people back here are the ones with quarters. So, well, right now it's just Walrus. But so you know that the first time, if like, let's say you're assigning a whole bunch at once, the first time you see somebody with quarters assigned, like Walrus, see, it doesn't say no quarters assigned, whereas this says no quarters assigned. As soon as you get to somebody that doesn't say that, then you know that everybody after them has quarters. So let's assign our Elven Archer, even though it has no luxury. So it's still telling us, oh, they didn't even want luxury, they just wanted personal quarters. But we're going to fill it out a little bit like it is actually good quarters. So we're going to take this fine bed, and you can see in the lower right, it increases luxury by 0.3. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're also going to just put in normal torches. There are torches that provide luxury, but we are... Oh, no. There we go. But we are not going to assign those right now. So there's some torches there. I usually like to put them outside the door, but I'm feeling too lazy right now. So these torches will be put in. Oh, what are you? No. I'm waiting for, like, the ideal minion. I'm not sure what the ideal minion looks like. So this bed is being built. The torches don't add any luxury. So finish up, him. Jeez. So now you can see the total luxury is 0.3 because this bed provides 0.3 luxury. We're going to do a few more things to add luxury. If you look there, keep your eye on the lower right. Increases luxury by 0.1. These are wooden floors. Increases luxury by 0.1. These are just 2 different patterns. Stone increases it by 0.3, and these are again 2 different patterns. And then carpets, there's just blue and red, increase by 0.7 each. They take gold, and obviously stone takes stone and wood takes wood. There's a few other things you can do, some of which are free. So I'll show you that as well. You can do reinforced wall. Oh, excuse me, it's not free, it uses a little bit of stone. Reinforced walls are better at stopping enemies from digging into your dungeon. They also increase luxury by 0.2. So we're going to go ahead and tell our imps to reinforce all these walls. And that will add luxury. And this is kind of a thing that typically when I'm creating quarters, I'll do that. In fact, usually when I'm creating quarters, I do something like this. Let's start with, so this is 3 by 3, so I'm going to leave this wall here. This is typically how I do things. I go like this, skip a space, like this, skip a space, or I'll do something like that, and then just cut out the part that we don't need. And then I'll go ahead and throw in some doors, or room for doors. And then you'll see this will just create 3 by 3 rooms. We can put our guys in there. There's no reason not to do it so if we build them out. So we'll let the imps do that. They're busy downstairs digging stuff out, so there's no rush there. If we had a situation where this elven archer needed more luxury to recognize all their experience, then I would prioritize it. But you can see that subscribe is just here taking care of reinforcing the walls. Oops, who did I just reject? Oh well. So they'll dig this stuff out when they get to it. Okay, now we're going to put in some floors. So, sorry, let's check here. So now that these walls are reinforced, the total luxury is 2.5. What that means is Elven Archer can get up to 2.5. I don't know if it's 7.5 or where the cutoff is, because what he wanted was personal quarters at 5, and then he was able to realize 1. So it might be 10 experience before you start getting unrealized experience for minions, even if they have a personal quarters assigned. I don't know, because usually I do exactly what you're seeing here. I just start assigning people quarters, and then I react to them not getting their experience and letting us know down here that they need more luxury. Once this is all dug out, we'll just reinforce all the walls. We have plenty of stone to do it. We'll start putting in doors. So this is kind of how I like to do my... Oh, what happened there? There we go. This is how I like to do my quarters. I build a whole bunch all at once, and I won't always reinforce the walls, I won't always put down floors, I won't always put in beds, but I'll make the room for it, because part of my challenge as a player is I forget what I was thinking I might want to do, so it's better just to use this for planning purposes. If I wanted just to leave it as planning purposes and not actually dig it out, I could have just not designated the spaces for the doors to be dug out, and then obviously the imps couldn't get to it, so they wouldn't have dug it out. But let's do a little... Okay, I'm clearly going to have to remove the bad torches. Yep, it just doesn't work for me. So let's remove wall installation for all of the for all the torches that are in the wrong spot. There's just those 2. And then let's add a torch here and here, and we're going to tell we're going to tell our imps to add torches. Hey, add torches in these rooms. This is my standard thing. And you can do your rooms any way you like. The other thing you can... Oh, wait. Vampire Warrior. Nope. Can see in the dark as an entertainer. That's nice. Entertainer helps people gain morale. In fact, we will... Oh, see now. This is the second vampire we've seen that's resistant to fire, and one of the shortcomings that vampires have is they are vulnerable to fire. So a vampire resistant to fire is pretty darn good. And he's flying. I don't think all vampires fly. Maybe they do. I don't recall. But also, these are our vampires, our 4 vampires that we can recruit that we found with Cornell. You'll notice they have an attack of 20 and a defense of 22. And this guy comes with 17 and 17. So the Cornell vampires are actually coming with a little bit of experience. We're not going to recruit any vampires yet, but I'm probably going to start with the Cornell vampires. Even though one of the advantages of leaving these 4 here is that if you find yourself in a pinch, you can recruit these guys for free anytime you want. So sometimes I will take a vampire like this. That vampire gets destroyed and we're in trouble. So I'll just go ahead and immediately recruit a vampire from Cornell's little group, or whatever it's called at that point. It's not always called Cornell. That's random. So the other thing, I'm going to unpause. The thing you can do to add luxury is you can add painting canvases to walls. You'll notice it increases luxury by 0.3 and has no cost. So some people will do something like this. They will add painting canvases Oh, I can't do it because there's a torch here. So let me actually remove these torches. Hold on. Okay, so some people will add painting canvases to every wall space. Now it's hard to see, but we've got, sorry, a wall installation can only be on one, for a wall installation for a square can only be on one wall. So you can only have one wall installation per square, so it's not like we can do a painting canvas here and a painting canvas here. That's why I couldn't put the painting canvas in before, because there was a wall torch there. So some people will do something like, I'm going to pause for a second because I don't actually want to do this. They'll make quarters that are really narrow and just line the wall with painting canvases like this. And then as long as the whole thing is marked as a quarters, it will give essentially completely free, massive luxury. And if you put it, and then if you put it on the other side of the wall, and then you reinforce the wall, you suddenly have a ton of luxury. And that's a very inexpensive way to create luxury. I don't really like to do that. Oops. Oh man, I'm messing this up. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me just cancel wall insulation. I don't like to do it for possibly the silliest of all reasons. I try not to min-max. I know a lot of people like to do that, and sometimes I'll do things where I will take advantage of the mechanics of a game. I mean, frequently I will, but part of what I like, I mentioned this in one of the earlier episodes, part of what I like about this game is the ability to kind of role-play my dudes and to be a little artistic. So I like to put in the canvases as though they would be decorating the room. Oh shoot, this canvas went in. That is not good. Let's so much for what I was saying. We're going to leave that canvas there because we will want one eventually, but we don't need all of these. But we can put a canvas here in our elf's room, right above the bed. It'll be nice painting. And let me unpause. We'll leave that canvas there. It doesn't hurt. Oh, I put in a second one. That I don't want. In fact, I don't like that canvas. So you can see I'm taking it out. So this guy now has 2.8 because this gave him 0.3, or 0.2, excuse me. And later on, you'll see Walrus come over here and actually paint this canvas, which is pretty silly, but also awesome. So our guy is happy. That's the basics of developing quarters. So we'll do that, and then let me show you, this is, oh shoot, hold on. Remove wall installation, take you off. Oh, I messed this one up too. Okay, we're gonna put in the torch in the right place. I'm definitely not anal. I don't appreciate you saying that. Put in our doors. And then I'm gonna do what I said to you before. I'm gonna take reinforced wall and I just run it over this entire thing because I know I want the luxury aspect of the reinforced walls for all of these quarters. The other thing you can do is you can zone in the same way. So we're going to turn these 6 rooms into individual quarters just by swiping over here. And because they have walls separating them, because they're non-contiguous space, they will effectively become 6 separate quarters. And we could assign people to these right now, but I'm not going to bother. What are you? You hate all humans. Well, I empathize. So I'm going to leave the episode there. I'm trying to keep these things about half an hour. Please remember, if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, I'm absolutely 100% open to those things. And if there's certain things you would like me to do, please let me know in the comments. Until then, I love you very much. Please remember to have your pet spayed or neutered. And if you're playing KeeperRL, let me know how it's going. See you later, Walrus.